Now we know that Hillary Clinton went right on the offensive. She's also going to go to Detroit this week. She's going to reveal her own tax plan. She wants to raise taxes, but she also said, in response to your plan, Mr. Trump, that trickle-down economics do not work. She says making an environment better for business is just not going to work.
Well, that's why we're so different. I mean, we're different in many ways, more ways than people understand. And I say not only will it work, it'll create tremendous amounts of jobs. And, you know, we're coupling this with other things. We're going to be doing smart budget cuts that will make it just as good or better than it is right now, but for a lot less money. We're also talking about, you know, other things having to do with military, because we do have to build up our military. That's the one thing. We have to build it up. It's so depleted. I mean, we need a military so badly, and we have to build that up. But we're talking about, you know, we defend nations, we defend many people, we defend many nations, and they don't pay us what they should be paying us for defense. We have many things that we can do to strengthen what we have to strengthen.
So you do want to spend when it comes to military, but in terms of raising revenue elsewhere, where would you be cutting back?
Well, we're cutting back. I mean, whether it's a penny plan, which is something that, as simple as it is, I've always thought of like, you know, the penny plan. You cut a penny from $1 and you do it for 5 years. I mean, all of a sudden, out of expenses, all of a sudden you're in a position where, you know, you got yourself down to a low number. The only thing I would do, and we will negotiate tougher deals, but we've got to spend on the military.
Let me ask you about the changes you've made to the campaign, Mr. Trump. I mean, are we looking at a different mentality going into these final 3 months headed up to the election? How are you going to change things in terms of your own ground game on the ground, and in terms of the people that you have with you? Are you changing your own temperament, changing your speeches in any way to make sure to get back in, where you are in the polls?
Well, I think that, you know, my temperament has gotten me here. I've always had a good temperament, and it's gotten me here. We beat a lot of people in the primaries, and now we have one person left, and we're actually doing pretty well there, but we'll see how it all comes out. We have some good state information. We actually have some very good polling information. So we'll see how it all comes out. But, you know, you can't and you don't want to. I certainly don't think it's appropriate to start changing all of a sudden when you've been winning. I mean, I've beat many people, and now we're down to one. And we'll see how it all works out, but I think it's going to work out well.
And in terms of the regulatory part of this, yesterday you said you want to roll back regulations, and you also said you want to tap into the energy story in the United States. When you say roll back regulations, are you going to tell the agencies to stop doing what they're doing in terms of enforcing these rules, or are you going to rewrite them all? Because rewriting all of these things, like a Dodd-Frank, like an Obamacare, I guess, would be a lot longer and would take much more time. In
some ways it's longer. In many ways it's much simpler, because Obamacare is a disaster. You know, the rates are going through the roof. The premiums, you can't even use it. You don't even get to use it. You look at what's going on, and it's going through the roof. You take a look at the numbers, the kind of numbers that people are being forced to pay. In Texas, it's almost a 50% increase. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. 16, 17, 18% is like routine, and now it's getting worse for next year. It's going to be much worse next year. So I really think you're better off doing a plan that works and that's much less expensive, and that's a better plan. It's not even a good plan. It's one thing to pay a lot of money. It's not even a good plan, and it's costing the country a lot of money. So we'll see.
How worried are you about the other races? I mean, a lot of people are concerned that the GOP will lose the Senate. And then, of course, we've got Wisconsin voters headed today for the primary for Paul Ryan. You did endorse him, but we know that there's been an iciness between the two of you. What's your take on the Wisconsin primary today, and how important is that?
I don't think there's an icing. I have a good relationship with Paul. No, I don't think there's an icing. Maybe the press reports that, but we've had a good relationship, and I endorse Paul. No, you have some primaries today, and it'll be interesting to see how it all comes out, but I would think Paul would be in good shape.
All right, and I was seeing that the three rates that you're going to do for your tax plan, 12, 25, and 33%, that's higher than some people wanted in terms of the top rate, but it is very much the same three rates that House Republicans have proposed. Should we look at that as unity within the party, as people coming together and getting behind you?
Well, we're looking at there's another rate 0 for a lot of people that aren't making very much money, and that's in their big league. But, you know, you have a 0 for the people that aren't making very much money. And I think the rates are now at a level that they're much lower. The right income's coming in. The business rate is fantastic. It's going to bring a lot of business, a lot of jobs, and it's a plan that's gotten very good reviews.
Mr. Trump, good to talk with you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Maria.
We appreciate it. We'll be watching. Donald Trump joining us right now. President